Happy Wellness Wednesday. I hope that this message finds you well, and I hope that this message finds you at peace. I hope that you are having a good week, and if you are in an area like I am in the Midwest, that if you are having any weather, any snow, that you are safe. So I'm grateful to have the opportunity to come back again this week. As I shared last week on the Wellness Wednesday, each week for the next 7 weeks, I'm going to be sharing from the 7 chapters in my book, The Burnout Factor. And as much as I am so very grateful for those of you who have purchased the book for yourself, I realize there's just an opportunity, even if you never buy the book, that I can share the information, some guidance and some tips in the book that you can utilize in your daily life to ensure that you are eliminating burnout and that you are truly flourishing and thriving in 2020. So last week we shared from chapter 1, which is make ending burnout a strategic priority. And I encourage you to write the vision and make it plain. The reality is if we don't write it down, it doesn't happen. And so really writing your plan about how you're going to ensure that you are living in a place of harmony, recognizing that stress and chaos does come into our lives, but we are not to live that way all the time, because when we do, that's when we deal with burnout. And so chapter 2, the title is, what is the title? Stop expecting you or anyone else to have superhuman powers. So when I have the opportunity to speak to audiences, I often share that I feel like I have a 9-year-old little boy inside of me, because I absolutely love Marvel Comics movies. I love all of them. I love Black Panther. I love Avengers Infinity War. I even have it in my room right now. I love Endgame. I love Thor. I even love Guardians of the Galaxy. So there's something in me that thinks, I love Wonder Woman too, even though that's not Marvel Comics, but there's something in me that makes me think I'm a superhero. And I'm going to be fully transparent, as I always am. I really thought I was Superwoman until Superwoman got laid down and had to retire her cape. And I often share with those that I am blessed to support that I realize Superwoman is a myth. She doesn't exist. And so that's what this guidance this week is about, is to recognize that we truly are human. We are human, and we have limitations that we have in our lives. Even though we think that we have superhuman powers, often we do not. And to recognize that we are human beings, we're not human doings, that we're not supposed to do things all the time. And so in the chapter of the book, I give 3 key recommendations. And the first one is be realistic about your expectations of yourself and others. To recognize there is only so much you're going to get done every day. And I often say the reality is, and I realized this for myself many years ago, we can work 7 days a week and there's still going to be more work. So that is when we really have to prioritize and recognize that we have to set realistic expectations for ourselves and realistic expectations for those that we work with and for those that we lead. So just thinking about that, to set those realistic expectations and prioritizing everything that you are working to do every day. I'm a woman of list, but I've learned to put my top 3. I have 3 different categories, and then I focus on 3 areas in those 3 different categories I'm trying to achieve each day. So what is that? 9 things that I am focused on achieving each day to make it a bit more realistic. So number 2 is reassess your organization's perspective of leadership. Now, many have shared about their perspectives on leadership and their styles of leadership, and each of us have different styles of leadership, but sometimes we have to step back and reflect, is it the right style of leadership? You know, oftentimes I've been in situations where it has been autocratic. It has been not a dictatorship, but it has been a situation where that leadership felt that it was just top-down approach. And there was no opportunity for those who were not in the specific leadership roles to express themselves and to give their guidance and perspective. And from my experience, that's just not the effective way to lead. The effective way to lead is to make sure everyone around you feels like they are a leader, recognizing that many of us have roles where we are the ones who have to be the final decision makers. But as much as you can empower those around you to strengthen their own leadership skills and give them the opportunity to lead in different capacities, the stronger your team will be. And the third recommendation is, it is impossible for everything to be urgent. I'm going to say that again. It is impossible for everything to be urgent. And I just want to read an excerpt from the book about that really touches on the fact that If everything is urgent, nothing is important. If everything is urgent, if nothing is important. So I'm just going to read a portion of the book. And it says, one of our greatest struggles is constantly projecting an inflated sense of urgency. Everything is always urgent. While the mission of our work is vitally important, staying in a constant state of emergency keeps us from truly being effective. It's constantly like drinking from a fire hose and wondering, why are we drowning? This does nothing but set us up for endless states of stress, frustration, exhaustion, fatigue, and perceived failure. I firmly believe if we can shift from this urgency mentality, we can more effectively achieve our missions. Although we are fully committed to the significant work that we do each and every day, our work is not a life and death situation. We are not performing heart surgery. However, if we don't make a change, and soon we might need heart surgery. So it's just recognizing that everything can't be urgent. And I go on in the book to share many years ago when I was an executive director. One night I was working very late on something I needed to get to my New York headquarters. And my assistant came in my office and she said to me, April, is anyone going to die if we don't get this finished tonight? And I had to just step back. What else could I say? No, but I was potentially going to die if I kept working that way because I perceived everything as urgent, everything as immediate. And so that is something we really have to shift and recognize that everything can't be urgent. If everything is urgent, nothing is important. And for one of my clients recently, I shared something that was a resource shared with me called the Eisenhower box. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of that, but a colleague gave it to me. And it's actually something that President Dwight Eisenhower utilized to prioritize what he needed to get done each and every day. And when I looked at it, I thought, now if a president of the United States can prioritize in this way, then we can too. And so the Eisenhower box basically consists of 4 different quadrants of whether things are urgent, important, not urgent. So it's just a simple way to prioritize what we need to do. And it goes back to the title of this chapter. We're not superhuman. We are finite beings. And knowing that and recognizing that if we can get to the place where we can recognize that everything cannot be urgent, where we can prioritize and we can set realistic expectations for ourselves and for those that we work with and for those that we leave, we really can achieve a great deal more. So that is the second chapter of the book. And I hope that it is helpful. I hope that as we go through these next 5 additional weeks that you are taking notes, and definitely let me know if this is helping you. If you're interested in receiving the Eisenhower box, happy to shoot an email to you or just Google Eisenhower box. It really is a great tool, and I think it'll help you manage everything that you're managing every single day, and realizing that if you prioritize, if you balance and harmonize a little bit better, you truly can eliminate a burnout in 2020. So again, I hope that that's helpful, and I look forward to sharing again next week. Take care.